Game Week 19 is here, so it's time to lock in our FPL teams. Welcome to FPL Mate, my name is Dan. Today is my birthday, but I'm not going to stop thinking about FPL just because of that. So, let's do my team selection for Game Week 19. A quick review of my Game Week 18 scores, and it was unfortunately a red arrow for me. Unfortunately, taking that hit to bring in Trent Alexander-Arnold did not go to plan, and if I just played Kirkes as was the original plan, well, I would be 8 points better off right now, and I'd be on a green arrow. So, once again, I didn't take my own advice, and I made a move, perhaps out of FOMO. However, usually I'm quite critical of myself for making these kind of FOMO moves, but in this instance, I think it is probably a case of variance. Right decision, wrong outcome. Because, of course, Liverpool conceded from a little bit of a freak goal with the deflection of Van Dijk. Only 0.2, 0.3 expected goals conceded in that game against Leicester. So it really was a prime opportunity for a clean sheet, which unfortunately did not just happen on the day. And Trent also created 2 chances for his teammates that unfortunately did come off the woodwork. So, on another day, this move very much pays off, but in this instance, it did not. However, watching through that game, watching the games, looking back at the highlights again to try and analyse where I may have gone wrong, actually, I'm very glad to have Trent in my FPL team right now because he is showing a lot of haul potential right now. So, the points may not have been delivered, and that is unfortunate, but in the future, I'm feeling pretty positive about what he can offer in future fixtures. Of course, Salah continues to score, so does Isak, Palmer on the score sheets as well, but blanks all around elsewhere. But the defense doing really well. Raya, Gabriel, Hall, and even on my bench, Kirkes and Castagna. The fact that I'm benching so many points at the moment is probably a good sign that my squad is pretty robust right now. So that's nice to see. Let's move forward to Game Week 19. And before we move on, guys, if you do enjoy this video, make sure you do leave a like. It may be my birthday, but that's not going to stop me from showing the yellows and the red cards. So get that video liked as a birthday present to your good friend Dan. And of course, subscribe if you're new around here as well. Let's keep it moving. So we need to recover from that red arrow. Small red arrow, but still, I want to get towards the top 100k as soon as possible. I do have 1 free transfer and 3.8 million in the bank, so plenty to do. Let's start off in goal with Raya, coming off the back of another clean sheet for him. Absolutely incredible how well Arsenal are doing defensively at the moment, and Brentford and Brighton both failing to score in Game Week 18 gives me a little bit of confidence that actually the next 2 fixtures could be pretty decent for the Arsenal boys. If we look at the table of the best defences, we can once again see that Arsenal way out ahead of all of the competition. They're now down to 0.7 expected goals conceded per game over the past 10 game weeks, which is way ahead of second place Newcastle, third place Forest. They're just by far the best defence in the game, in the league at the moment. So doubling up still seems like a good idea, even in the slightly more difficult fixtures to come. We already spoke about Trent Alexander-Arnold earlier, but again, he is a player I am confident in moving forward. The fixtures for Liverpool are actually really good, and Liverpool are still one of the better defences in the Premier League, and I think they will solidify a bit more when Konate is back within the next couple of game weeks. So, Trent hopefully can continue his creativity. Maybe next time it will lead to some attacking contributions, and 3 shots that he took last game week as well could lead to the occasional goal. That would be very nice indeed. West Ham is the fixture. I think there is potential here for clean sheets and attacking returns against the West Ham team that don't always offer too much right now. Gabriel is my next defender. Of course, we do have that Arsenal defensive double up. Gabriel actually missed a huge chance in the Game Week 18 fixture against Ipswich. Should have scored a header. Unfortunately, that did negatively impact his bonus points, but had that been scored, we would be talking about Gabriel once again as that most essential defender to own in the game. So yeah, more to come, more shots. They are going to find their way to the back of the net. We know what this guy is like. And our third defender today is going to be Timothy Castagna against Bournemouth at home. Now, I'm going to bring up the defensive numbers again on screen for us, guys. And we can see Fulham are gradually moving up the table. They've played a lot of tough fixtures recently, which has negatively impacted their expected goals conceded per game. But as game week goes by, we are seeing them rise up the table, and they're currently sitting at 6th for the best, or the 6th best defense on current form, which is quite nice, isn't it, really? So, going back to Castagna, he is obviously a fullback nailed on now with Kenny Tete injured for a long period of time. He does offer some attacking threat. He did get an assist in last game week, particularly in the second half against Chelsea. I thought he was doing some really good work bombing forward, even though it was mostly Robinson on the other side for the majority of the game. But for a cheap guy, he's absolutely perfect for me. And Bournemouth, despite the fact that Bournemouth do create chances, I continually feel that Bournemouth just lack that, I don't know, that clinicalness in their team. They can create chances, but they do struggle to score goals. So Fulham, good defence against a Bournemouth team that is wasteful with their chances. Bernd Leno is in great form between the sticks. I think we could be looking at some clean sheets, not just in this game week, but the many game weeks to come. So a Fulham defender seems like a very nice player to have in your FPL teams right now. Let's move into midfield. We've got Mo Salah here against West Ham, smashing it every game week. He is on for a historic season. He's almost at 200 points already, and we haven't even reached the halfway point of the season. Do you know how insane that is, by the way, guys? I was looking through his actual scores per week over the season so far. It is absolutely crazy. I can't remember ever seeing something like this. If you just look through this, guys, starting off with 14 points in Ipswich in game week 1, and pretty much every week, that's 2 blanks in 18 game weeks. That is genuinely crazy. We never see anything like this in FPL. 16 goals, 11 assists. This could go absolutely mad by the end of the season. Hopefully, he can continue his form. But he looked good against Leicester once again, and I think he will continue that form against West Ham next. We've got Palmer here against Ipswich. Really nice fixture for Chelsea. Even though Ipswich don't concede too many goals, they do concede a lot of chances. And those clinical players, those players with ability, the real ability, will cut through this Ipswich team. And Palmer, as we saw last game week, has that cool, smooth ability to just slot the ball into the back of the net. He really is such a cool player. Cold Palmer is why it's the perfect name for him. It really, really is. Ismail Assar is my next player. He actually, unfortunately, had a goal disallowed in game week 18 for an offside, but looks that he was looking to run in behind, and he seems to be playing with confidence at the moment as well. He's taking things on, he's taking players on, he's taking shots on, he is looking to make those decisive passes, and I like that. Confident player is definitely something we enjoy in FPL, and Southampton at home up next is a great opportunity for him to hopefully get on the score sheet this week, back to his form. And it's a return for Rodgers in my starting 11 for this Brighton fixture at home. Yes, Brighton have been out of form recently, badly out of form, failing to pick up many wins recently. And even though Rodgers really disappointed against Newcastle are an in-form team, and I think Villa will bounce back with Rodgers as a key part of that in the new game week. Can he repeat the heroics of that game against Man City? Well, over the next couple of game weeks, he's got some really nice opportunities. Brighton and Leicester, the next 2. So I'm thinking I'm going to play Rodgers for the next 2 game weeks. I'm pretty happy and pretty confident to go with this guy. And Enzo Fernandez is my final midfielder in the starting 11. He plays against Ipswich again, and another player pretty unlucky not to get any results in game week 18, but I always take these as positive things for the future. He did take an amazing shot that Bernd Leno pulled off an incredible save to stop that from hitting the back of the net. And really, outside of that, it's just a case of he is playing so well at the moment. He is constantly involved, all over the pitch. Enzo is at his best that I've ever seen him in a Chelsea shirt right now. He really is. So hopefully that can continue. A player in form can do the business against this Ipswich side. And moving up front, we've got Alexander Isak, the absolute legend of FPL at the moment. He seems to be approaching that essential tag. I mean, what do you guys think? Is Isak essential at this point? He seems to be the only forward who is just consistently doing it every single game week without fail. Absolutely phenomenal pick at the moment. Great form on penalties. talisman of this team, of this Newcastle team, a Newcastle team who is in form at the moment as well, which can't be said about the opponents Manchester United. So Isak versus Man U could be very, very big indeed. Hopefully Newcastle, despite the away fixture, can go there and really, really put down a marker to say we are here. And Nicholas Jackson is going to be my final pick here. A couple of blanks in a row for him, but a new opportunity against an easier fixture in Ipswich could be his opportunity to provide some FPL points once again. And I know some people will be disappointed in Jackson, maybe looking to move him on, but I was looking through the numbers again today. I'm constantly looking at these forward numbers. Over the last 6 game weeks, ordering these players by expected goal involvements. Of course, we do see Isak way out in front with 6 expected goal involvements. He's actually beaten that as well. In second place, it's Havertz with 3.5. So almost a 50% drop off there. Really, really significant how far ahead Isak is right now compared to a lot of the rival forward picks at the moment. But outside of that, we still see Jackson, despite only playing 5 games in the last 6 game weeks, is still pretty high on this list. 2.13 XG and a little bit of creativity there as well. But with 15 shots in the box, no one's beating that right now. Only Isak can match that. So that's very positive signs here indeed. And yeah, like I say, going through some of the other options, if you want to upgrade on Jackson in terms of those recent numbers, where we're looking at Havertz, who's been playing in midfield, Gakpo rotation risk, Vardy is injured, Haaland is out of form, Watkins hasn't been playing, Duran is suspended. So, you look through these other options to Jackson and you kind of think, actually, yeah, Jackson is pretty good when you really deep dive some of the other alternatives. We do also see João Pedro way at the bottom of this list. In what is that, 18th place for these expected goal involvements. He has dropped off a cliff, unfortunately. So I do think we definitely need to have a strong look at João Pedro and whether we need to replace him. I'm definitely looking to replace him at the moment. But let's bring up the bench, guys, because we do have João Pedro on the bench. I'm going to go with my midfielders this week and just bench João Pedro. And the main reason for that is because I want really one more week of information to decide which forward I want to go for. I haven't decided which forward I really like the look of. As we kind of just discussed, there's not that much going out there at the moment. I have considered maybe doing a big upgrade of, João Pedro all the way up to a Watkins or something. That is a potential move. I can afford it with all of the money in the bank. It seems like Duran is going to have his suspension. They did appeal it, but that is going to go through. But if I was to sell João Pedro for Watkins, it is a bit of a risk. And who would I bench for him? Would I bench Enzo Fernandez? That's probably where I would go for my benching. But I'm not massively convinced that is a huge upgrade. And I can definitely see Enzo getting something out of Game Week 19. So it's definitely a consideration, but I'm not totally convinced by this one, if I'm totally honest with you guys. Kirkes and Hall are also on the bench, and that's mainly because I think they have more difficult fixtures than Castagna. So I'm playing the fixture here a little bit. Fulham are the medium defence between Newcastle, who are doing really well defensively, Bournemouth, who are still doing well, but maybe more mid-table for a defence. But Fulham are, in the middle, 6th place. Great fixture. I think it's worth playing Castagna for this game week. And that is my team right now. We're going to throw the captain's armband on Salah, vice-captain on Palmer. I just think at this moment, you just never doubt Salah, do you? Just doing the business every time. And in terms of transfers, I don't think I need to do any. Let me know if you think I am wrong on that one. But looking at my team, I don't feel in any desperate need to make a transfer. The one thing that maybe doesn't look right in my team is that I'm playing 3 cheap midfielders, but they're good players and they're performing among the top, just as well as all of the expensive midfielders anyway. So I think that's maybe more of a psychological thing there, that I don't want to play all these cheap midfielders, even though these cheap midfielders are doing pretty well generally. So yeah, let me know what you think. Should I do the João Pedro to Watkins move and maybe bench Enzo, or do you think I'm good to go as I am? Appreciate all of your guys' input. So as you guys know, I love the Fantasy Football Hub My Team tool for a second opinion on my team. I'm sure a lot of you guys are using it each week to get that second opinion. Make sure you are doing things roughly right. It's nice to see, isn't it? And certainly when I look through my defenders that I'm selecting this week, we do have Castagna with higher predicted points than Kirkes and Hall, which does give me the confidence that that is the right move. However, it is suggesting I do play Joao Pedro ahead of Enzo, but I'm going to override that based on the form of these players, and there's not too much difference in the predicted points between Joao Pedro and Enzo, but maybe 4.1 million points, well, 4.1 million points? That would be nice. 4.1 predicted points. I think that is a little lower than I was hoping for, and I wonder if there is a big difference between him and Watkins. Are we going to get good stats on Watkins right now for predictions, though, because he has been benched so much? Probably not. So it's difficult to get an accurate prediction here because we need to manually factor in the fact that Duran is going to be banned. So difficult to get predicted points on Watkins for this game week, even though I think he could do pretty well over the next 2 game weeks. Could be a really, really nice pick for there. We'll see about that one. But what I want to do is have a look at AI transfers to see if I have any suggestions. Of course, you guys can do this too using the link at the top of the description to get access to this tool completely for free. And Hub recommends I make no transfer. So I might be along the right lines here. So yeah, reassuring. Always good to get that second opinion. If you do like the look of this tool, please do use the link in the description to check it out. But aside from that, guys, yeah, thank you so much for watching. If you haven't done already, I probably by this point, I'm pre-recording this video, but by this point, I would have done my charity stream, my birthday charity stream. So if you did want to leave a little birthday thanks, please do give to charity using the link in the description, or check out the charity stream where we will be talking a little bit more about that, and there'll be some more FPL tips in that as well. So the link will be there for that stream. Go check it back. It will still be very relevant to you guys right now. But thank you guys once again, and I will see you after my birthday for some more FPL content. See you later, mates. Bye bye.